all coming through. 16 drivers coming. We're only waiting on 4 more, and we've got around 35 minutes, I think, until we reach the end of the 24 Hours of F1 event. Of course, with the how we ran, of course, with this event, with the title decider coming in third place between NER, XL and QVR. They're third, fourth, and fifth currently, so that's going to be a very interesting battle to keep up with. But in terms of how we've obviously approached tonight, the standings, of course, and obviously with the technical difficulties, we are a little bit behind. So that's what I was trying to say. We are a little bit behind. I can hear, by the way, some typing in the background. I think Jess is alongside me in the commentary box.
Hello, yes, hi. I was not expecting to do this race. So sorry if the invites are going about a bit slower than expected. But hey, I'm stepping in at the last minute. Should be exciting. And I was a bit sad I wasn't able to join you, James, in the commentary box. They didn't put us together, but the heavens have opened and fate has spoken, and now we're together. So that's good. I'm a bit tired though, so we should see what happens. I only got 4 hours of sleep that last night. I didn't get much sleep because I've been so busy with the 24-hour. But yeah, we're just missing a McLaren and a Mercedes, I believe, and then we're good to go. So beware Corrals and who else in the other Mercedes? I don't even know. I don't know. I'll need to double check in a second.
Yeah, I think Barrichello, if I'm not mistaken, that is VSR Duncan, I think, for the final round, if I'm not mistaken. I've certainly got him in my friends list. Hang on. I'll throw him over an invite if it is him that is racing in this final round. It's a good job that I'm actually here to try and do some of the invites and try and take the workload off you. I've got to say, you've been very busy getting this lobby up at a very short notice, so thank you so much indeed. Duncan has got an invite if he is going to be racing, and looking through the McLaren, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have a run through actually on the lobbies and see who is actually in for this race. And I can probably confirm that it is, I'm just looking through, is it TTG Trinity? TTG Trinity, I think, might be the one for Bottle Job Racing, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's Ash Best. Ash Best is doing it instead of him, so...
Ash Best is in. So Ash Best in for Bottle Job Racing. So Trinity out, Ash Best in. So that is very good. Ash Best thought he's retired from League Racing in PSGL F1. He's back once again. He's been doing this event, which is absolutely fantastic. Duncan, by the way, in the comment section saying, I can't make it. So Duncan cannot make this race. Barrichello then down, it seems, their driver for this final event. I think they've already changed 5 times at least in this event so far. So Duncan Hoffland cannot make it. So we are down one driver. I think we're only waiting on one more person. I don't know who it is for the sake of me. It might be IFR Joel, if I'm looking.
I think Joel's asleep.
I thought Joel's asleep. The joys of running a 24 hours event. Honestly, that comes to show the commitment. I've had a very nice 8-hour sleep, by the way. I don't want to rub it into anyone's face.
Oh, I've had
a lovely 8 hours sleep. I feel very rested, and this is the final commentary that we're ever going to be doing on the 24 Hours of F1 event. And unfortunately, if you are tuning in, a bit of drama happened just before we were supposed to go live, myself and Dan. The Twitch stream, just the Twitch account got banned for, it looks like the FOM graphics on, which I said on the last stream. Unfortunately, that seems to have caused a few problems with that, and obviously got us struck. And that means we're obviously commentating on YouTube, but it's a good old thing that we've got a backup to bring you the final race of the 24 Hours of F1 event.
Yeah, it is. I think we've been doing YouTube for quite a bit now. I think we all used YouTube with LOE and other leagues like PSGL as well. So we've got this anyway. So with Duncan not racing and IFR not here and not showing up, I think we're going to have to get going, because otherwise the lobby's going to be delayed as anything. So if you're in the lobby, ready up.
Yeah, everyone is ready enough. They must have heard your call. 18 drivers then about to battle. We are waiting, of course, for Joel. If he does attend this, he will obviously join within qualifying. I think it might glitch the lobby. Hopefully it doesn't. But we are down 2 teams. So, Barrichello as well, Duncan Hoffland and IFR Joel not in this race. But here we are in Abu Dhabi. I've got to get the track map up on the right-hand side of me. And it is, of course, the traditional season finale here in the 24 Hours of F1 event. The Yas Marina circuit, 5.5 kilometres in length, 3.4 mile. 21 turns awaiting these cars out on track, not the 15 like they are in real life now with all the changes that have been made. 2 DRS zones, one down the start-finish straight in towards turn 8 and one down the start-finish straight in towards turn 11 as well, of the back straight I should say, down in towards turn 11. And Abu Dhabi, of course, an absolute mainstay in some of these events. It has decided championships in the past, but it seems absolute units without any points deductions have won the 24 hours of F1 events, so Relentless can only hope for second.
Well, the absolute units have definitely deserved it. They've been unstoppable for pretty much the whole event with some great drives. Sam Corby especially, and Kryptonite in France as well, doing quite brilliantly. I think they had some strong drives from Will G in Mexico getting a podium, and pretty much all the drivers in absolute units did absolutely incredible, whether they were jeffing or they were racing in general. So big well done to them as well. But I have to say, Relentless, big improvement, despite there being a team that only was launched just after the last 24-hour event as well. So big credit to them as well. And I have to say well done to them for getting second. But third is still up for grabs though. And there's still positions outside the top three up for grabs as well as the team that could avoid being last place. You don't really want to be last in the 24-hour event. But anyway, finally, we're about to get started for the final lap, James. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, Vapor Russell is the man we're going to go on board with. I'll get the telemetry and everything up to take you through this lap of the Yas Marina circuit in towards turn 1 then with Vapor Russell. Seems always we get on board with the Vapor guys. I don't know why, they haven't paid me whatsoever. Coming through turn 2 and then through the right-hander of turn 3. And now Russell on the run in toward the left-hander of 4 and then in toward the left-hander, the chicane of 5 and 6. Of course, you traditionally now go up into the hairpin, but we have the chicane, of course, on the old-fashioned layout. Through the first sector, Kazissa leading the way, Cowboy second, and then Hannes in third. Vapor Russell looking up there in terms of his qualifying pace, now opening up that DRS zone, can reach 200 mile an hour on the run down in towards turn number 8, which is the left-hander, and then of course the right-hander of turn 9, where Nico Hulkenberg a couple of years ago was hanging like a cow. Russell though coming through 8 and then through the right-hander of 9, and then onto the old F2 pit straight. The pit lane on the right-hand side there was for the old F2 races that they used to run in GP2 era, so that was around 2015. Russell then on the run up towards the middle sector, 57.7 through the middle sector from Vapor Russell. Looking quite good on this lap now through the chicane of 11, 12, and then through 13, and now through the left-hander of 14 again. This part of the track has been changed, as well as the next part of the track, which is, of course, the triple right-hander through 15, 16, and then in toward the right-hander of 17, and then in toward the left-hander of 18, and then to the left-hander of 19. Of course, no bollards there. It's now much a thinner line as they go through there, but now on this track, still very, very hard indeed. As we now come through the right-hander of 20, into the right-hander of 21, Kazizel looks like he's going to get pole position here. The bollard goes for Vapor Russell, costing the run, but Kazizel, 34.2, a good 0.4 of a second away from Hannes there. Kazizel on provisional pole, well, he is on pole position. Moving you through the rest of the grid order in just a second when it does appear on our screens. And there's Kazizel out on top, 3.5 over Hannes there in second. Vapor Russell in third, Coxey in fourth. If only they were mathematically still within a chance, because Coxey's out-qualified Sam Corby in fifth, Yuri there in sixth, Menil in seventh, Verstappen in eighth, Noisy in ninth, and Gary ran off the top 10, Cortez in 11th, Arthur in 12th, Ash Best in 13th, Scott Bugner in 14th, Benjamin in 15th. Through a few disqualifications, Ollie Flavel, Speed Quinn, and Falk disqualification, obviously picking up track limits violations, so they're starting right at the back of the field, and of course, no team starting from last, so it is an all-hell-out race here in Abu Dhabi. Final round, Kazizel out on top, Hannes in second, but Kazizel dominant in qualifying.
Well, I'm not really that surprised, to be honest, because Kazizel, I know, has been a very good driver in Abu Dhabi in the past. I like to see him having many battles. He's had many battles in F2 in PSGR around Abu Dhabi, so not really that surprised as well. But a few shockers, I think, in the top 10 as well. And like I said again, congratulations to the absolute units. Now, it is the final race. We want to go all big here. So if you haven't donated to any of our 2 charities, please go and click the links in the description for Young Minds Trust and Special Effects. We want to try and get over £2,000. That will be amazing. I think we want over £1,500. So if you haven't already, please do. It'll make a difference. And I know some of you got paid recently, so it'll be perfect for you to get your final donations in before the event is over. So go and do it now. Share it to your friends and to the rest of your teammates as well. That will be absolutely amazing. And of course, these will go and help people in need, especially Special Effect as well. That goes to people who can game with a physical disability without any problems at all. So go and donate. Let's go for that big milestone for the end of the stream. Over £2,000. If you haven't donated, why haven't you? Let's go and do it.
Yeah, let's go and do it indeed. I'm looking at the latest total. Special Effect has got £756 there total, and both the targets, by the way, are £1,000 for each. Young Minds has got £784. So Young Minds just outscoring, of course, in terms of the donations, but overall, more than £1,500 raised between both of our charities. A phenomenal effort. Thank you to everyone so far that has donated. I know myself and you, Jess, have both donated already, but we are here. Final race, 24 hours of F1. Kazizzle, Hannes, and Russell, the top three. Let's have a look then for the final time what everyone's strategy is starting off the race. Kazizzle and the top 10, of course, qualifying on that to the soft compound tyre. Everyone else, bar Arthur and Scott Buckner, on that to the soft compound tyre. Everyone else on the set of mediums, Cortez, Ashfest, Benjamin, Ollie, Flavel, Quinn, and Falk. And unfortunately, it seems, actually, we've already got a team that has got the wooden spoon, because I'm looking at the standings. We have already got a team confirmed for the wooden spoon. I think it was Esports Wales in the last event, if I'm not mistaken. They've actually betted themselves to 17th in the event, and I'm just looking through and confirming which team is at the bottom, and I think it's whatever RL... I don't know who it is, hang on.
What? TTAC's on 91
Oh,
points.
Tic Tac and Co. Tic Tac and Co.
Well, they missed a few races, so of course they would.
Of course I would. Unfortunate, but it is all about charity, of course. It's not about where teams finish and getting one over on each other. This community, of course, can be toxic at times, but it is events like this that just brings everyone together for great causes. Two great causes, of course, in this year's event, because this will go out on top. Looking at the strategies, though, Jess, Arthur and Scott Buckner set a soft compound tyre, 12th and 14th, both in the Aston Martins. How do you think they're going to get on? Because I always thought around here in Abu Dhabi, tyre wear is quite high.
Yeah, it is quite high as well. I think there'll be two medium stints, so you really want to be on the softs nice and early. So I think Scott would probably want to go for an aggressive strategy, same with Arthur, but you can't really do two soft stints unless the tyre wear is different compared to the lifespan that I have written down for this track. That softs can last 12 laps, so it is doable, but the ones on the mediums have probably made the best decision. They want to go for the soft run at the end, but there is no point for fastest lap. So it's all guns for glory here, and let's see if we can get a dramatic finale to end all finales for this championship event. It's because it's on pole, Hannes alongside Vapor, Russell in third, and Coxie in fourth. And James, for the final time, I'm going to let you do the start.
5 red lights about to go out here in Abu Dhabi. Kazizzle out on top, Hannes alongside, and it's 5 red lights and lights out, and away we go. And Kazizzle gets a very good start, but look at the start of Russell. He's going to be alongside Hannes, down in towards someone, the German. Now dives it down the inside line. Can the Brit try and go around the outside? Yes, he can. Russell just about in second and cuts off Hannes through turn 2. Kazizzle will lead, 6/10 of a second away from Russell in second. Hannes in third, Coxie in fourth, Menno in fifth, Sam Colby going side by side with Yuri further down the field, and now Noisy trying to get involved around the outside of Cortez, just in behind. And this as well, but Sam Colby now getting a little bit of contact. Everyone's clean through safety through the chicane of 5 and 6, and now onto the back straight we come up through turn 7. Cortez outdone by Noisy all the way around the outside, so good stuff from him, the TTG man. Cortez there in 10th, Ashfest there in 11th, but Kazizzle absolutely shot away off the start. 5/10 ahead, Vapor Russell in second, Hannes in third. Through the first half a lap we go as Noisy and Sam Colby, and it's going to be 3 wide nearly, down in towards the chicane of 8 and 9, and Noisy and Sam Colby just leaning into the slight bit of contact, but Sam Colby hangs on to P8, Noisy and P9, but through the first half lap we go. Cortez now on the back of Noisy trying to get the move done, and actually Kazizzle's made a mistake because now Russell is trying to go all the way around the outside for the lead of the race. Kazizzle leads the way. Vapor Russell in second, Hannes in third, Noisy and Cortez still going side by side through the chicane of 11, 12 and 13, and there's contact between them both. Noisy trying to let him go, and it's caused all sorts of carnage in behind. Arthur, I think, got held up in that as well, and Noisy Cortez, I should say, just takes the grass, which is just totally what you would do in terms of getting turned around. But Kazizzle lead, Vapor Russell in second, Hannes in third through the first half a lap. Or through the first full lap, I should say.
Well, look at how Arthur and Cortex are driving, as some people are driving that if they're not even there, as Cortex has spun once again. And there's no gravel traps around this circuit, but don't make it as it's going to be an easy track, because there's so many runoff areas, like we saw in France earlier on today as well, where people could lose it and get track limit warnings and go off and have a bit of a crash. So that is what we see the likes of Cortex doing. He's at the back now, and he's probably going to pit very soon. As we go on the RT driver off, that is Hannes, the spun. just before, I think it was turn 4, and his tyres are not good at all. He's going to drop to near the back as well, as the drivers around him has got past him. The only driver that he's going to be ahead of is Cortex, which has a change in front wing right now. Any other battles to be aware of? Still a battle between Verstappen and Corby, but we got Scott Bugner and Ash Best going side by side into this next DRS zone then on this back straight. We'll see if Ash Best can cut to the right hand side there. He tries to. It's going to be a double chicane coming up soon as well, so Ash Best wants to get the move done nice and early. No DRS activated there, remember, and this is job done for the Bottle Job Racing driver, who only got told that he was racing not so long ago as well. So last minute change for the Bottle Job Racing team, but let's see if Scott can try again with the slipstream. He does not go for the slipstream, but I'm guessing he's going to try in the next lap as well. They're still all so close together, the top 17, I would say, as there's a little bit of a touch in between the Aston Martin driver and Ash Best. That's a very close for comfort, boys. Just keep it steady. It's the final round. We don't want people to go too aggressive just because the title has been decided or anything. But Kazizzle is under a lot of pressure from Russell. I have to say that every time I've commentated with Russell in this lobby, Russell has been on fire.
He has been on fire, and Russell now looks up for this. Noisy with the first 3-second penalty. Arthur as well. Scott Bugner has spun, coming through the turn 20, through the right-hander of turn 20. Of course, that's turn 14 now in real life. Kazizzle leads the way. Russell in second, on board with Russell. He looks so much better. Kazizzle doesn't look like he's got a better setup on than him, and Russell just planted himself coming through turn 3. Kazizzle ran out wide and overshot himself slightly, so there might be a warning there for Kazizzle. But the Shazoo man really struggling in terms of his performance so far. Got initially a really good stop, and now Russell is going to absolute saunter on by, you would imagine, on the run down in towards turn 8 and 9, and now Russell will just pull alongside the Vapor Man, alongside him will take the lead of the race, and Sam Corby as well, battling with Verstappen. Verstappen did very well around here in LOE in Abu Dhabi, and now Sam Corby down the inside line, gets the job done. He's through and he's into 6th position on Verstappen, so the key VR man being overtaken by the absolute units, and Sam Corby there in 6th. If only that championship battle was on, because Coxey's there in 3rd, catching the front 2, because Zizzle's now having the run at Russell once again, literally like Verstappen, and Hamilton has been coming towards turn 11, and Russell is still there on the inside line. Kazizzle gives him the room, to be fair, and Russell goes into P1 once again. Kazizzle in 2nd, Coxey in 3rd. I think Kazizzle just overshot his line slightly, but Russell's through and he's into the lead of the race, and I think now he's got the pace to pull away.
Yes, he does as well. I think he's a few tenths per lap faster than Kazizzle as well, but there's still a long way to go in this race. Maybe Kazizzle will fight back with the undercut, just like we've seen in a few races last night and into the morning, of course. Kazizzle seems to be struggling with some oversteer going into the final few corners, actually, which will allow the relentless driver of Coxey to catch up as well. Coxey's had a brilliant start, gained 1 position. Menno as well has gained 3 positions. The Ecos boys have done fantastically in this event in the Ferrari cars, and we got 2 people in the pits already. Verstappen already picked up a 3-second time penalty a few moments ago due to track limit warnings. Gary from XL, who is one of the admins for this 24-hour event, is going into the pits as well. So is Noisy. They're going to be going off the soft tyres onto the 7 mediums, so they want to get it nice and early, and maybe it has to be 2 medium stints as well. Will that give the sign for the top 3 to pit? We will have to wait and see. Arthur's also got a time penalty as well, so there's everyone from 14th downwards that made their first stop. Final race, only difference, well, only a few differences. No double points, no people starting last, but there's still a compulsory 2-stop, and we don't want anyone to get disqualified in the final round. But if there's a race that people could forget, it's definitely got to be this one, especially since if there's drivers that have been up since the whole of the 24 hours.
Yeah, definitely. I think a bit of brain fog might go into the drivers' minds possibly in this race for the final race, but Russell leads the way because this was on the back of him down in towards turn 11 there, not quite close enough. Coxey there in 3rd, Menno in 4th. The Scotsman doing a good job for Team Relentless. Ollie's now going side by side with Arthur down in towards turn 11, gets the job done, and Hannes is through as well on Speed Queen. After that early mistake, of course, Hannes was in 3rd in this race off the start, and now he's in P11, so overtaking the Speed Man in behind. Verstappen and Gary going side by side. I've not seen many battles between these two before, or have I? Verstappen though through on Gary, and he's into 14th position. Gary there in 15th, and of course KVR and XL have got a point to prove because they're right next to each other in terms of the standings for 3rd, 4th and 5th. That battle is still up for grabs. Menno has had a slight mistake. In fact, Yuri is coming across the line, and actually they're all into the pit lane. They really catch me out, some of these guys, because there's Coxey and Menno all into the pit lane, and they're going onto a set of medium compounded tyres, which I think it's going to be softs, mediums for these guys onwards.
Yeah, they've got to really, because otherwise their tyres are not going to last at all. As we're seeing Sam Corby just losing it in turn one. I don't know what happened there as Ollie Flavel and Bartha just got past him as well. Hannes too. Hannes is just trying to fight a comeback too. So Kazizel is going to come out ahead for now of the likes of Coxie and Menno. We got another yellow flag. I don't know what that's for. I think that's people going into the pits. I think it is Cortez actually, who's going into the pits. Or, yeah, he is going to the pits. He's slowing right down at the moment. Russell's falling a 2.1 second gap over Joey, so Russell needs to make sure he has the best in-lap he can, because otherwise Kazizel is going to undercut him in the pits. Not quite sure how long the pit lane loss around here. 19.5 seconds you lose in the pit lane, so get your pit stop done ASAP and you would get the undercut. So what's the gap to leader as we're seeing more battles happening before our very eyes? Oh my goodness, this is very tight between Ash Best and Ollie Flavel for fourth position in this race. Two of them on both on the medium tyres, and they have no seconds of penalties. Hannes just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. They got to watch out for that. The gap between first and 11, 19.4 seconds. So if Russell doesn't pit now, Kazizel's going to be out ahead, because Kazizel only needs to gain 2 seconds. I think Russell's just pitted at the right time, so I think Russell will just be ahead, but it's going to be very tight. Kazizel needs to push now down in 11th spot as he's behind Benjamin. He's ahead of some ahead of some traffic now, which is not ideal. Jerry is into the pit as well, so that leaves, I think, most of the soft runners in for their first stops. I think Sam is the only one and Arthur that is staying out. So let's watch Kazizel then. Is he going to be ahead of Russell? It's going to be close. It is a long...
Easy.
It's going to be easy, I think, but you never know. It's a long tunnel, which is quite unique about this circuit. And with that undercut, Kazizel is miles ahead. 6 tenths per second. I thought there would be 2 tenths ahead. I think it must be that Russell's in-lap was not the best, and Kazizel's out-lap must have been spectacular, I guess. So, brilliant job. I think Russell was probably outdone by Kazizel's in the undercut there. Would that strongly suggest the top 3 going for the undercut? And we do see someone going 3 wide. Oh my god, Arthur and Ash Best and Ollie Flavel going side by side there into that double chicane. And we're now going to be heading towards the next DRS zone of turn 10 and 11. Just before we start into sector 3, Ash Beth is on the power. He's got low ERS, but he doesn't care. To the right hand side he goes. A bit of contact between Ollie Flavel and Ash Beth as we start sector 3.
Oh, look at Arthur!
Ash Beth. We make a bit of contact going on there. Oh my goodness, guys, keep it clean there at this stage, and I think it brings the other medium runners in there as well in this massive train that is going on. But Arthur's spun. Ash Best has spun as well. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there. Arthur through and he's into third. A little bit of aggressive move, I'm going to say, doing towards down in towards turn 13. Goodness me, that's my northern accent coming out there. Sam Colby, though, into the pit lane. Arthur stays out, so Sam Colby in. We forgot to mention as well, Russell is now ahead of Kazizel. So Russell got the move done on Kazizel down in towards, I think it was turn 8, and got the move done there. And he's into now P6, but Ash Best and Speed Quinn just ahead. Speed doing a fantastic job, of course. Brand new team, of course, of the 24 Hours of F1 event. Of course, I know they've got Matthew Redbull racing for them, or had Matthew Redbull racing for them earlier on in the event, along with Speed Knighton in the last round. But now, Vapor Russell on the back of Ash Best. He looks like he's got the pace over Kazizel, but now Kazizel, he can just sit and wait behind. Halves a little bit more ERS, about 60% as he goes on to the straight, down the 1 kilometre straight, down in towards turn number 8. And now, Russell is going to be alongside Ash Best. And what's the chances of him trying to catch Speed Quinn in all of this as well? Probably quite high, because Speed Quinn is getting closed in at like a rate of knots. And now Russell to the outside, and it's 3 wide into the hairpin, and Russell tries to sweep around the lot of them. Russell on the inside line. This will be brilliant if he can pull it off, and he does. Fantastic stealth. Speed Quinn is through, and he's into pit, and Ash Best gets shoved off track, and now Kazizel trying to loop around the whole lot of them as well. Vapor Russell through though, and he's into fourth, but now he's just sitting duck because Kazizel comes down the inside line. There's a bit of contact. Ash Best has ran the outside of Speed Quinn. Speed Quinn has just been done like a kipper there with 3 moves lost. Vapor Russell, though, that is the maddest move I think I've ever seen around Abu Dhabi. He's through and he's into P4. Absolute credit where credit's due. He knew what he was doing. 3 wide into the hairpin. Never seen anyone do that. Vapor Russell's through, and he's just made these look like absolute mugs.
Well, George Russell, the real-life George Russell, is going to Mercedes next year. I wonder if this driver is going to be following suit as well. That was sensational move as well. He is fighting like he's going to win a world title, is Vapor Russell there as well. And brilliant job. Vapor Russell wants this win so badly, and he's just fighting like his life depends on it. When you've got nothing to lose and nothing to fight for, usually you perform at your best sometimes, and that's what Russell is definitely doing, fighting against Kazizel, but that was very, very close to disaster. But luckily these 4 drivers kept it on the road. Fair play to all of them. I felt sorry for the guys behind all that, losing all those positions, but they're still going at it, and I'm almost certain that the guys on these will be coming into the pit soon, as Joey is also in this train as well. Menno too. Everyone is starting to catch up to the people that made their stop. So here we go. Menno is going to try and get past Speed Quinn now. So Quinn is going to drop down the order, and it seems. So he's going to go to the left-hand side.
No
he goes
way.
quite comfortably. And we got Joey on Coxie actually, making a bit of contact. Joey going off the road, as we got Arthur and Ollie Flavel also going for moves as well. Arthur on the soft tyres. He's going for an interesting long stint on those soft tyres, actually. Not what I want to do in Abu Dhabi. Meanwhile, Menno gets past Ash Best. Brilliant stuff from the Ecos driver. He is a net P3 at the moment and just overtook Ash Best. Obviously, Ash Best had to pit anyway, so the fresh mediums are a lot better than old mediums that have been on the car for 7 laps. Arthur needs to think about pitting now. He's losing so much time to the cars behind them, and he's going to drop down near to the back of the field. So he wants to get on, probably due to softs by the way this is going. Is Arthur going to come in? Yes, he is.
He does come into the picture, and I think this is going to be mediums and then softs towards the end of the race. Looking at where he's pitting in, it's lap 9 out of 28, so he can last a good 12 laps, I would say, instead of mediums, as Yuri has gone for a spin. Coming around the final corner, I think he tried to dive it down the inside line of Speed Quinn, if I'm not mistaken. So the Alpine now is either into the pit lane or he's going slow down the pit wall. Yeah, he's going slow down the pit wall. So Hannah's now through and he's into P10, and Yuri just tried to launch a move down the inside line there on Speed Quinn. Didn't make the move stick, and it is getting a little bit aggressive for my liking, if I've got to be honest. So calm it down. It's for charity. Falk leads the way. Ollie in second. Russell in third. Russell's pulled 7/10 away from Kazizel. Menno got the move done, by the way, on Ash Best last lap around, so he's doing, he's into fifth. Coxie, though, on the back now of Speed Quinn, and Speed Quinn now under pressure from the back of Relentless Coxie, and Relentless Coxie now on the back of Speed Quinn. He's going to absolute saunter through as if he's not even there, and Coxie through and he's into P7. Speed Quinn and Nate Gary there in P9, and actually now this race beginning to break up slightly. Kazizel, though, right on the back of Russell. Is he going to go for the net lead of the race? I think he might, because Kazizel just backs up the throttle. You know what these esports guys like to do, they like to sit and wait behind. Russell there in P3, Kazizel's still in P4 for now.
Yes, indeed, but we're seeing more yellow flags as Cortex is out of the race, and there's no safety cars, so Cortex's team won't be scoring any more points in this event. How will this affect the championship for them? Who knows? We're already down to 17 runners, 3 teams out of this event, and still 17 still left running. Don't forget, they all score points no matter where they finish. And don't forget, for those of you that just tuned in, the absolute unit at the last race did enough to be crowned the winners of the 24-hour event for this year. So big congratulations to everyone in the absolute unit. The person driving for them at the moment is Sam Corby. Have we got Scott Bugner, who's out of the race as well. He's just binned it. He binned exactly the same place as Giovinazzi did, as Joey's also got a front wing damage as well. That was replica to where Giovinazzi parked in Abu Dhabi as well, but this time he actually crashed. So, yeah, not good. So now we're down to 16. I shouldn't curse anybody. I apologise. As Ollie comes into the pit, he's going on for a set of softs, which should last about 12 laps around here. He's then going to go on to another set of softs to the end. Will Fallock will be thinking the same thing? I think he probably will, but that will mean that Russell will inherit the lead very, very soon. Quinn's still yet to make his first stop as well. Same with Ash Best. Everybody else has made their first stop. Well, nobody doing 2 stops actually, but Joey will probably be the first person to do that. Kazizel right on the back of Russell. Could this be attempt number 2 for the Alfa Romeo driver who started on pole? No, Russell closed the door there. I have to say, Russell is doing a brilliant job at the moment. He is defending like Max Verstappen. Ash Best got pretty much outdone by Coxie there. Coxie got past Ash Best. Ash Best was usually a lot faster, but unfortunately, Ash Best is down into 6th position. Again, he's yet to make a stop anyway, so it is to be expected as well. Joey being, I think, going to be a lap down very soon as well, which is not ideal, but as long as you finish, you will get points. Fallow stays out again, so yeah, he's going to be on 2 stops in for sure. Vapor Russell still got the gap between 5 tenths. Mano not being able to catch up though, neither is Coxey. We've got to keep an eye on fuel as well for this race. We saw Matthew Alder in Brazil almost run out of fuel, but he just about saved enough fuel to get to the end, which I have to say was remarkable. Minus 0.01, which I have to say is nothing.
It's absolutely nothing indeed. Ash Best, by the way, into the pit lane. He's on a set of soft compound tyres. Ollie Flavel was also in the pit lane. He's also gone on a set of soft compound tyres. Arthur, by the way, got the move done on Noisy and all of that. Gary on the back of Speed Quinn. Hannah's just off this as well. If Hannah didn't spin, coming through the inside curve of turn 2, he would be right up there with Kazizzle and Russell. I can guarantee you that. Menno's 3 seconds off them. Kazizzle once again on the back of Russell. And it almost looked like Kazizzle last time around. He tried to fake a move in towards turn number 11, and now I think we're about to say the same thing once again, because he doesn't want to try and go for the move early. He'll back off the throttle just before they go into the corner, and actually Kazizzle on the outside line gets the move done. So what am I on about? Kazizzle takes the lead of the race, and it felt there in the lead, but Kazizzle takes the net lead of the race. Coxey and Gary side by side, and Hannah's and Speed Quinn side by side as well, and Gary is through on Coxey, so he's through and he's into 5th, Coxey there 6th, Hannah's there in 7th, Speed Quinn now down to 8th. He's struggling on that set of medium compound tyres. It is very high tyre wear currently. In terms of the penalties as well, I know Casper's asking in the comment section, those are the current penalties. We can't check warnings unless Jess can do that in behind. Hannah's 3 seconds, Arthur on 6, Noisy on 3, Verstappen on 3, and Yuri on 6 seconds worth of penalties, and that is the current standing as Falk, the race leader, comes into the pit lane.
And speaking of Falk, actually, he's got 2 warnings added to his name before he gets a penalty. We got Russell, who's on 2 warnings off, 1 more warning off a penalty, so he's on 2 warnings. Kazizzle only on 1 warning so far. And we've got Sam Corby, actually. Fair play to him. He's squeaky clean. No penalties on no warnings to his name, as Ash Best is out of the race. And it is potentially his final race on PlayStation. Binned it just before the pit lane as he was going into the pits. Oh, what a shame to end your final race on PlayStation like that. That is a shame. But Ash Best, you can now enjoy your retirement party.
Yeah, outside curb, I think, of turn 20 is the victim. Certainly that's not going to be called the Ash Best corner, I don't think, in the league racing community. Hannah's, though, on the back of Gary, trying to get close. The German on the back of the Irishman, but the Irishman will hang on to P4. Coxey there in 6th. Coxey actually just let Hannah's through on the last lap, coming through turn 20 and 21. I'm not sure if he made a mistake and then let Hannah's through, but he wanted to try and get the slipstream off Hannah's, but Gary is obviously letting Hannah's get the slipstream off of him. Here comes Hannah's now on the outside line, in towards turn 11. He absolutely waltzes around the sister car. So the Red Bull is still in the AlphaTauri, and he's into 4th. Gary there in 5th, Coxey there in 6th, Sam Corby in 7th, and Sam's not entirely out of this race either. He is the king of the undercut strategy. Can he try and do that? There is a crash in the pit lane, I think. Jury has crashed coming through turn 1, and I'm not sure if that was a reset to track or if that he completely stole. I think with Scott Bugner, by the way he went off track, I have a feeling it would have been a setup failure for Scott rather than anything else. He crashed off track coming through 14 and 15, so that triple right-hander just before that section, he crashed through there. So I'm imagining the way he went off, and probably looks more like a setup failure, because if you're going straight, you're going to go pretty much diagonally in towards the wall, and that's why we parked it, so it must have been that for him.
Yeah, a bit of a shame there as well, but at least he's still going 15th place, still gets you a whole good amount of points anyway, so that is a good reason to be staying in this race. Massive shout out to Fallow, who's gained 10 places, and despite Hannes having that spin, by the way, earlier on, he's back up into 4th place, even with that penalty, so his race pace at the moment is pretty incredible. Imagine where he would have been without having that spin earlier on. I think he would have been challenging in the front, I'm almost certain as well, but shame about that penalty. Someone has gone off and damaged the front wing. It's another Alpine car, and is it Joey again? Yes, yeah. It is Joey, who is a lap down. Meanwhile, Sam Corby and Coxey going side by side there as well. We got Gary, who is joining in for good measure as well. Is Gary going to get the move steady? That was very, very close, lads. The lapped car did not help in any way, shape or form. We got Sam going side by side. Coxey, now Sam once again. He's got a lot of places to go at the moment, and Sam has overtaken 2 of them. Sam is up into P5 of this race, and yes, you were right, James. Do not count Sam out in this race because he is catching and he's probably the fastest guy on the means right now. Gary's just picked up another 3-second time penalty, so that's not good to his race so far, but still he's in P7. That's pretty darn impressive for him so far. Another yellow flag. That's probably Joey again. I'm just going to ignore the yellow flags at this point. Expect the drivers to go in onto a set of mediums for the ones who have pitted early as I think Joey would probably, if I was Joey, I would he's just running on his own, but he'll still get points, so I don't know what I would do, but probably another set of mediums potentially. He's cutting the grass. He's missed the pit lane. Oh, Joey, don't go the wrong way. You're going to get disqualified. Oh, no, he's fine. He's good. And he's retired. Not really that surprised, to be honest. So we're down to 14 runners on this race so far. Vapor Russell still leads, but crucially, Vapor Russell has a 3-second time penalty. Kazizzle does not.
He does, and actually Russell got the move done because there's a last lap around which we missed, so Russell leads the way. Kazizzle there in second. They're pulling away now because Menno's not in a DRS train. He's got to try and rely on these two now beginning to try and just hold each other up. Kazizzle's running out of the slipstream to try and break that toe. Russell on the inside line. Russell though will hold the lead. Kazizzle there in second. Further down the field as well, Gary on the back. Look at Falk's pace as well for Nordic E-Racing. He is on an absolute mission to try and get through. Is he going to get the Irishman down in towards turn 11? He's going to send it. It was a bit of a half send, to be honest, there from Falk. He is on the back of Gary. Coxey there in sixth. Relentless doing a good job outscoring Excel at this stage. And looking at the standings, of course, coming into this final event, we did have that battle for P3 on. QVR at the minute, Verstappen down in P12. Excel currently with Gary in P7. So Excel currently outscoring Verstappen. And I think, honestly, in Gary's perspective, Verstappen pitted in a little bit earlier. He'd been on the same lap. Look what Gary is. Gary's 15, 16, 17 seconds up the road. Gary's pretty much got a free pit stop over the QVR man.
Yep, he does. I think Gary's doing an incredible job so far. Obviously, everyone have done their one stop already, and there's drivers that will be making 2 stops very, very shortly. But yeah, this could make a difference between Gary and Verstappen, and we do know these two rivalries from LOE Division 1. James has been commentating in the past with those two in the helm as well, but we're going to see that Noisy has just picked up a penalty, but we're going to like to Gary, Falk, Arthur and Coxey. And speaking of Relentless and Excel, they're fighting for position on track just like they are in the championship. As it stands, Relentless will take second in the championship, which I have to say is pretty incredible with their results thus far. They started off strong with Car Mentalist taking home P3 in one of the new tracks on the game, Jeddah, and here comes Falk. Gonna potentially overtake both of them. Double overtake, gonna be free abreast heading into this DRS zone. Right-hander chicane, and
never gonna work.
Spun round. So that loses any hope of Excel outscoring Relentless today, as Sam Corby actually gets past Hannes quite comfortably up into P4. Brilliant stuff from Sam, and as we just saw on stream, Hannes has got another 3-second time penalty.
Well, he took avoiding action there, and I think ERT might look into getting that removed, because that was a very unfair 3-second penalty. Yes, he might have had 2 warnings, but the outside line is pretty much adjacent to where the corner actually is, so he's overshot that. But imagine where the hairpin is. There's obviously no curb on the outside now of the hairpin, and Hannes overshot that little part of the track slightly, and he picked up a 3-second penalty. It just comes to show Cole Masters in terms of the track limits very, very severe around this track. Russell leads the way, Kazizzle in second. Kazizzle, honestly, it's almost as if he's not breaking sweat in behind. He's 4 tenths behind. Every single time we've been on board with him, he backs off in terms of Russell, and he's only 4 tenths away, and he's still consistently, it looks as almost if he's got his number out in front. Vapor Russell there leading, Kazizzle in second. It's almost as if Kazizzle, as I say, has got his number. Gary and Noisy, by the way, both into the pit lane, so it'll be interesting to see what they go on. I think it's a fresh set of mediums to the end of the race, and I think they've both completed their 2 pit stops as well, if I'm not mistaken. Kazizzle though on the back of Russell again. That's what I was on about, backing off in towards turn 8 and 9. He's just trying to conserve the fuel. I'm not sure if he's overshooting it in terms of his fuel, but Kazizzle certainly doesn't want to try and get the move done. But now Russell's going to bring it his own way, and now Russell's going to say to him, you've got to try and go past, mate.
Yep, here he goes then. Kazizzle attempt 1 here, and he does not at the start of sector 3 at the moment. I wonder if we're going to see an esports tactic for likes of Kazizzle and Russell. Could we see it pay off? But I think Kazizzle can afford to be within Russell's range at the moment, because Menno is around about 4.2 seconds behind. He's not really catching the likes of Kazizzle and Russell. Those two are a league of their own, so Cazzizzle could just stay within Russell's range. Don't forget, Cazzizzle's got no penalty. I do believe he's on 2 warnings though, so if he gets one more warning, he's going to be on a penalty. So he's got to be ideally pushing anyway, because you never know, you could be actually fighting for position in a few laps' time. The top 2 have been opted to stay out, where we got Menno going into the pit, so that will force Sam Corby to stay out another lap. ERT Hannes has also opted to stay out another lap. Falik and Arthur will do the same. So it's only just one driver of Menno that's coming in. So what side is Menno going to go on? It is another set of the medium tyres to be expected. I thought he would have gone for the soft tyres. He would have made it to the end, even though the optimum pace will be gone by the end of lap 27. But it could last 12 laps perfectly fine. But I think from lap 18 onwards, I would say if you're pitting, go for soft tyres.
Yeah, definitely. I've just literally came back from a little bit of a toilet break there. And I was in P8, Coxie and P9. I tried to sneak it when you were speaking, so there we are. Quinn and P9.
I did not
Coxie and
notice.
P10, look where Coxie's coming out. There's Gary, and there's Coxie. So Coxie's going to be ahead by about a second coming out of the pit lane. 7/10 of a second with Gary in behind. Noisy in 12th. Verstappen there down in 13th. Very unlucky, I think. QVR not going to be picking up certainly their 3rd, 4th or 5th position here. Russell still leading the way though. In towards turn 11 we go. Lap 17 out of 28. Cazzizzle in 2nd. Sam Corby in 3rd and Hannah's in 4th. And there's really only 2 battles that we can commentate on. It's the battle for the lead and the battle for 3rd. Gary, yes, he's close enough to the back of Coxie, but it's really the 2 that are going to try and decide this race, and I wouldn't be surprised Cazzizzle to come into the pit lane in this lap around to put on a set of medium compounder tyres.
I think if Russell comes in, Cazzizzle will follow. If Russell doesn't come in, Cazzizzle will probably go in anyway. And the latter happens. Cazzizzle goes into the pit lane, and he almost hit the pit wall there, which was closed, and he almost sped into the pit lane. So Cazzizzle is through. Sam Corby stays out then, so does ERT Hannes. Not many people are pretty much going into the pits. I thought it'll just be a stream of cars going in, and Cazzizzle going onto the medium, so he's not as confident on the soft compounder tyres. So could we see Cazzizzle versus Russell on a different compounder tyres? That could be very interesting. It may come down to the strategy gods as to who wins this race, as Menno has also done his 2 stop. Is he going to jump quite a few people in the pit lane? He's jumped Arthur and Ollie most likely as well. Ollie has done his 2 stop now, so that just leaves a few more drivers in the top 4 to do their 2 stops, and also Speed Quinn to do his 2 stop, and that'll be everybody doing their last stops of the evening. And we've got some moves being made, James.
Yeah, side by side coming out the pit lane between Coxie and Arthur. Arthur is in behind Coxie, so it's not ideal on a set of softs to try and get this move done, but Arthur's going to try and dive it down the inside line. Speed Quinn just overlocks himself coming into the hairpin, and now, are we going to see a possible 3, even maybe a 4 wide situation? Certainly 3 wide, because Coxie is not really going anywhere. And look at Arthur, he's going to split between them 2. It's like a mobile chicane running down in towards turn 8, and now they reach the real chicane. Arthur on the outside line of Coxie, he should have the grip. Beautiful move there. Arthur is through and he's into 7. Coxie there and 8. Speed Quinn there in 9th, and Gary catching up in this as well. The speed driver beginning to struggle. Gary on a fresher set of compounder tyre, beginning to close in once again on the speed man. But now Gary is through, and I think Quinn accepts his fate. So Gary through and he's into P9. Sam Corby though was the one I'm looking at in terms of the strategy. He's going to come in. I thought he would have extended his stint a little bit further to go on a set of softs. Russell is, so you might be right, Jess. I was going to say Russell, he would react to Cazzizzle, but he hasn't. So Russell's going to stay out. He's going to go on that set of soft compounder tyre. Sam Corby is on for a set of medium compounder tyres. And I thought, honestly, Sam Corby, if he felt his tyres could go the distance, I thought he could have tried to go soft compounder tyres to the end, and obviously end up trying to outscore Cazzizzle and Menno.
More crucially though, Hannes behind him is on the soft compounder side, so we get to see which is the faster tyre, but Sam Corby will be the more durable one, so Sam Corby will come alive towards the end of this race then. Arthur also on the soft compounder tyres too. We've got a mixture of people deciding to go in what tyre then as well, but I know Russell wants to be faster than the Cazzizzle, but we're just watching the pit lane loss go down and down and down. Remember, 19.5 seconds. Gap to Russell and Cazzizzle, 17.7 seconds. So he's going to drop behind Cazzizzle in the pit stops, which is not what he wants, but he's going to gain 6 tenths per lap almost on Kazizel in the final few laps. So we could see a Hamilton versus Verstappen type battle towards the end of the race. This is going to be very, very exciting, isn't it? And by the way, make sure you get your last minute donations in through to Young Minds and Special Effects. The links are in the description. We're going to try and get over £2,000 by the end of the stream. That'll be amazing. And whilst I plug that, Russell goes in for his final stop, and if he does not go on the soft compound tyres, then there was no point on him coming in. He's going to be the last person out of the front runners to make their pit stop, and I believe that just leaves Quinn to be the last person to make their final stop. As we'll see, yep, the soft tyres are on the Williams car. I expect Quinn to do the same and go onto the softs as well, but here comes Kazizel heading towards turn 1. I think he's going to be comfortably ahead then, but we will see. Russell just comes out of the tunnel. You never know yet, Kazizel is ahead, and that just goes to show how long you stay out, but the delta is going to come down massively. The race is not over for Russell. Maybe he wants to be on the softer tyre so he can get rid of that 3-second deficit if he gets past Kazizel.
He has to. I mean, he's got a 3-second penalty. He's on a set of soft compound tyre, but Kazizel is no mean slouch out in front. He can honestly try and keep up with Russell to his heart's content. There's a spinner. Ollie Flavel has spun coming through turn 3, and there's a battle actually between Noisy and Speed Quinn coming into that section of the track, and now Noisy all over the back of Quinn, both on a fresh set of medium compound tyres. Noisy's slightly fresher than Speed Quinn's, but Quinn doing a phenomenal job in P10, still Noisy there in P11.
Quinn still
but Noisy. Yeah, still yet to make a stop, but Noisy is going to get the move done down the inside line in towards turn 8. It's even done before turn 8 actually arrives, so Noisy through, and he's into P10. Speed Quinn, as you mentioned, is the only driver out on track to have not done their mandatory 2-stop. Hopefully he is aware that we do have that mandatory 2-stop, of course. Coxey on the back of Arthur getting quite close in towards the hairpin of turn 11 onto the chicane of turn 11, and Coxey's another one that gets caught up by the limits, and Arthur into the back. Arthur, I should say, in front. Coxey into the back of him, and Coxey spins Arthur around, and he escapes the scene as if he hasn't done anything. There was just a little bit of a racing incident, I think, in all of that. Coxey tried to loop it around the outside. He got forced off track slightly by Arthur. Arthur spun again coming through turn 14. So Arthur, I think, had right away the corner. Coxey, though, I think he probably should have backed out there.
Yeah, I think he should have done so as well. Unfortunate for Arthur there. He had nowhere to go down in 12th place, and he's probably going to pit for one final time, as we're starting to see people push in more for fastest lap. Gap to Russell and Kazizel now 2 seconds, 1.9. Russell is almost within DRS range. They've got to get within DRS range ASAP, because otherwise there's going to be little laps for Russell to do anything and catch up and get rid of that 3-second time penalty. Menno, by the way, no penalties to his name, would probably finish in P3, and I have to say, Ecos's podiums to this event has been absolutely incredible, so good job by those boys as well. And it looks like with Ollie Flabel down in 11th, it looks like their team will probably be last in the team standing. So if you're a team just above them, then you're probably going to be very relieved that Ollie's done not so well, as Arthur has retired in the pit lane by the looks of things. So we're down to 13 drivers now in this race, and that will give people some more hope to get a top 10 finish, because it is doable. So there's going to be double wave yellows for a long time, and just look at the gap that Russell is pulling at the moment. 1.3 seconds is the gap now. This could be a straight fight to the end of this race. It's not over. 1.2, 1.1, very, very soon Russell could be catching into turn 7 and be getting the move on Kazizel. He's on those fresh rubber. He's been waiting till the last moment to do it. Could we see one of the best drives I've ever seen around Abu Dhabi from this man? 136.7, he is pushing.
Your voice sounds like it's giving up there, Jess. I'll take over. Russell's on the back of Kazizel, 8 tenths of a second away from Kazizel. But I think Russell's going to give Kazizel his own treatment, because remember what happened with Kazizel behind Russell? Kazizel just waited him behind until the final couple of laps, and I think that's what Russell is probably going to do here. 8 tenths per second. He's on that fresher set of soft compound tyre. If he is within that DRS range, which he is going to be, he's going to close up down towards turn 8. I've got to say, lovely sun sunset here in Abu Dhabi as well. Russell, though, on the back of Kazizel using up a bit of deployment, I think, down the straight. He's got a little bit more EOS. 9% I make it between Kazizel and Vapor Russell in terms of the advantage. But now is Russell going to try and get the move done? He has to surely go for broke. And now, using up the deployment, he is going to go for broke. Because look at the closing speed now of the Vapor Man on the back of the Shazoo Man. And he goes alongside him down in towards turn 11. He's going to waltz around the outside.
Wow.
Lovely move. Vapor Russell, that is the cleanest move you might see in the whole of the 24 hours event. Russell through and he's into the lead. Kazizel there in second. And now Kazizel, all he's got to do, keep it in a second. Otherwise, he's got no chance.
I was not expecting Russell to get the move done that quickly. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. And if he was able to pull the 2-second gap to around about a second to catch up to Kazizel that quickly, I'm almost certain Russell could win this race. But watch out for Kazizel at the end there. Russell is on a mission and he wants to get the maximum points in the final race to end the championship on a high. Look at that, 1:36.4. He's setting the fastest lap times alight. He's on fire right now, and he's got to make sure Kazizel is out of the DRS range. Battle for third between Relentless Coxie and XL Gary is still going strong in terms of the championship at the moment. Relentless still ahead, but time penalties, Gary and Coxie are on the same penalties, so they're actually fighting for position. This is game on for these two as well. These two have had a very strong rivalry, these teams, throughout the whole 24 hours, and one of these teams will want to come out on top, but unfortunately both of them can't. Only one of them can, and at the moment it looks like it goes to Team Relentless, as we're seeing Speed Quinn actually make its final stop of the event, so nobody has to stop again anymore. I think we've done our last pit stop of the 24 hours. I think Quinn just wanted that glory to have the final stop in the 24 hours.
He definitely did. Look at Kazizel, though, on the back of Russell. Is he going to try and waltz down the inside? And he dummies him to the outside line. Tries to get the move done. He doesn't. Russell hangs on for the lead. But Kazizel, I did say he was no mean slouch. He's within that second range. Hannes as well with Menno. Menno sweeps around the outside to hold that position. Sam Corby, where on earth has he came from in all of this? Look at the pace of Sam Corby. He's in fifth, and he was more than a second off starting the lap. Now 3/10 off. So Menno and Hannes have obviously been fighting quite hard. And speaking of fighting hard, Gary and Coxie are side by side coming through the chicane of 11, 12 and 13, and Gary is through on Coxie and he's into P7, crucial for XL in terms of their championship. Hannes, though, on the back of Menno, he's got fresh tyres, but this is what we were saying, very high tyre wear. Hannes cannot get past Menno, it's as simple as that. Sam Corby now is going to try and struggle to get past Hannes as well. They're all Constantined up. Kazizel, as long as he stays within 6-7 of a second on Russell, he is going to have this race win. Of course, Russell cannot get away on that set of stops. They only go for around 3-4 laps to play, and the advantage is starting to swing back with Kazizel. Vapor Russell though leading the way. Kazizel in second. Hannes and Menno are going to look quite close down the straight, but is Kazizel going to think about going for the move down in towards turn 8? He hasn't in the past, and I don't think he will here. We're back off the throttle, rightfully so, and now he's still in P2, but Hannes, I think, is going to get the move done on Menno.
Yes, he is as well. Here he comes towards turn 9 and 10. There you go. But Menno just closed the door there as well. Let's see how many penalties Hannes is on. He's on 9 seconds, so he's got to think.
It's Kazizel! Kazizel for the race lead. Someone to cut you off, Jess! Down the inside line. Russell's so late on the brakes, though. Kazizel tried to force the issue around the outside, and now look at Hannes in behind. Menno and side by side with him. Hannes, the ERT man, and Ecos go side by side into the chicane. This might not work. Lovely move by Hannes. Through and he's into P3. That's exactly what he needed, exactly what the doctor ordered, and Hannes now through, and he's into P3. Menno in fourth, Sam Corby in fifth, and Coxie and Gary are still fighting out. Gary forces Coxie off track, and Coxie forced to go over the curb, and Gary now through into P7, and do you know what? I don't think there's any bad blood between them at all after that.
I don't think so at all. These two, I think, just want to have some fun for the final few laps of this 24-hour event as well, because they want to raise as much money as they can for charity. And don't forget, I think there's still a competition on which team can raise the most money for charity as well. So if you are donating on behalf of a team, or if you're racing, just put what team you're in as well, because I'm sure the admins could count it out as well. And I don't know who's winning that one, to be honest. I haven't checked the page on which team have donated the most money so far, but it's quite a few teams have got very big donations so far, but I think a lot of their donations have come collectively from some members of their team. So yeah, I think Menno's having a much better run than Hannes this lap. Same with Cazziddle and Russell going for the lead. Cazziddle gets the lead on track. I think Russell's tyres are starting to die there with the dirty air. And Cazziddle is one step away from winning this race for Nordic Re-Racing, I believe, is the team that they're... no, it might be... What team is Cazziddle representing again? I don't even know.
Cazziddle is representing. I need to scroll through and find it myself because all the drivers' chat is now all about this great battle that's going on.
Humble Squad, sorry, not Nordic E-Racing. Foul's Nordic E-Racing. Cazziddle is the Humble Squad. So there we go.
Menno dives down the inside line of Hannes and all that as well. Sam Colby can try and loop underneath, but he can't. Hannes now beginning to struggle in terms of his tyres. There's the penalties, by the way. No one was asked for in terms of the stream, because Cazziddle leads the way. Vapor Russell there in second. He's got 3 seconds worth of penalties. It's Hannes and Noisy on 9, Benjamin on 11, Falk, Coxey, Gary and Verstappen all on 3 seconds worth of penalties. Everyone else hasn't got a penalty yet. Ollie Flavel in the meantime about to get the move done on Verstappen. A bit like old school, that Ollie Flavel going around the outside of somebody. He's 30s into P10 and Verstappen there in P11, and Verstappen's not going to give up that fight. The Kvyat man tries to hang his nose in there, but Ollie Flavel always have right of the way of the corner, and Verstappen, you know better than that.
Yeah, you do know better than that, Verstappen, but there we go. At least they're going to try and have some fun in contact. Jesus Christ, don't bang wheels,
He's
guys.
aggressive.
We have 3 more laps to go of this race, and Verstappen just picked up a 3-second time penalty for it as well. So he's on 6 seconds. Ollie has no penalties at all, and here comes Verstappen. Oh my goodness, that's very, very intense indeed. We're going to go back to the battle for the lead, as that's getting even more tense right now. I think that's what James is screaming about, so let's jump to that at the moment. Vapor Russell wants to clear because it's a very, very quick. He's going to try, at least he's not giving up, and yes, he's got the job done. Nice and easy. I wonder if he's been saving a lot of his pace for the final few laps. It may be too little too late though, but Vapor Russell is your race leader at the moment with a 3-second time penalty for Russell. That allows Cazziddle to get P2. Meanwhile, Hannes just goes past Menno and Sam Colby up into 3rd place, but he's going to drop down, I think, behind Falk in terms of, because of time penalties, unfortunately. I think he may jump maybe behind. Actually, no, he will drop behind Falk because Coxey's a little bit too further behind to be within penalty range. And Russell's got another penalty, which is not ideal. That'll bring a lot of people back into contention. Watch out for Menno. Menno could get P2 in this race. Actually, no, Hannes is a little bit too further back, so Menno won't get P2, I think, but he will get P3. Anyway, Verstappen and Ollie Flavel are fighting again for position, and P10 Ollie Flavel's now got a time penalty, 3 seconds. So they're pretty much on even Stevens, apart from Verstappen getting another penalty. We're on the penultimate lap of this race, and Vapor Russell still leads because it's all P2, Hannes P3, but he'll drop down on penalties. Menno in P4, but we'll jump to P3 at this moment in time. The absolute units are in 5th on the road, but they will be crowned champions. Well, they're already champions anyway, but they will be extending their lead. I'm almost certain of that, as Cazziddle almost get past Russell there into this left-handed chicane, but unfortunately couldn't quite do it. Now onto this right-hander. Here he comes then for the penultimate time of asking. Here comes Cazziddle then. This is what he wants. He wants to get the job done on track. Russell closes the door, but it's going to be too little too late. Cazziddle wants it. He wants the glory. And here he goes. Cazziddle up into P1 of this race. And I'm almost certain that Cazziddle doesn't need to be pushing that hard, because he surely knows that Russell has got a 6-second time penalty. Here goes Menno on Hannes on track. I think Menno is trying to do exactly the same thing.
Lovely.
On Hannes, Menno's got a 3-second time penalty. That's allowing Sam Corby to be in this as well. Sam Corby could get P3 of this race due to Menno picking up a 3-second time penalty. They're all going very aggressive in the final stages of this race, because it is the final round of the 24 hours, and for the penultimate time, this is the final lap of this race. Cazziddle leads, Vapor Russell in second, and it looks like Sam could get P3 at the end of this lap, but it's the final lap of the 24 hours. Make it count, guys, and get your final donations in.
Yeah, definitely so, because there's a little pulling out the gap. 9 tenths away from Russell. Russell now, I think, has accepted defeat. The Vapor man has done everything in his power to try and get on the back of Kazizel, but he cannot live up to the pace. Kazizel has been very astute in terms of his tactics. The final few laps, he's going to break the toe. He doesn't need to. He's well ahead, and I think he'll even contain the gap in towards turn 11 as well. But the big battle is for third. Hannes, Menno, and Corboy. They've all got penalties at the minute. Sam Corby in behind hasn't got one single penalty, and I don't think he's even got any warnings at all. And now we're going to see a 3 wide possibly down in towards turn number 8. And Sam Corby, it's like the parting of the Red Sea, down the inside line through the middle of both of them. Sam Corby through, and he's into third position. Kazizel holds the lead on Vapor Russell down in towards the final chicane. But Sam Corby through, Menno there in fourth. But now Hannes is going to try and battle back. He gives Menno a little bit of a shove up the backside, and now Hannes is going to try and bring Menno back into play as Menno tries to loop it all the way around the exit of Sam Corby. One, if you can do it, I can try and do it better, but he can't get the move done. Sam Corby holds on to P3. Menno then fourth, but back on board with the battle because Kazizel beginning to run out of his tyres, it seems. Russell is right on the back of him, coming through the final couple of corners, through turn 20 and 21. Kazizel around the final corner. He has had to do it the hard way, but he is going to win. Gary is off the track through the final sector, but Kazizel takes the line to win in Abu Dhabi. Vapor Russell in second. Sam Corby in third. A phenomenal move on the final lap of the race. If that's not worth money, I don't know what is. Sam Corby in third. Menno will come across the line to finish in fourth. I think Hannes has got more penalties than them. 12 seconds, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Falk will come across the line to finish in fifth. Hannes drops down to 6th. Coxey coming around the final corner to finish in 7th. Relentless have done such a really, really good job. Probably the underdogs, I've got to say, of this whole event. Finishing there in 2nd position. Gary, 8th position, with Noisy in 9th. So Relentless outscore Excel. I'm sure there's going to be something lost there between the Relentless boys and the Excel boys. Kvyat with Verstappen going to come around the final couple corners to finish in 10th. It is finally nearly all over. Ollie Flavel coming across the line to finish at 11th. He's going to absolutely have me for that one. Speed Quinn across the line and P12. That is the end of the 24 hours of F1 event. Absolute phenomenal job. And Kazizel rightfully saying in the drivers' chat, that was for all the kids out there. Falk awarded driver of the day, but Kazizel, dream the impossible, is what he says. And dream the impossible he did. He takes the final win of the 24 hours of F1 event.
Has he ever won a race in the 24 hours before tonight?
I don't think so.
So this is his first one, and what a race to do it as well. The final event, absolutely incredible. And Russell did give him a run for his money as well, I have to say. France, I enjoyed the battle with Silly Sly Guy and Matthew Older. I think I enjoyed this battle equally as much between Vapor Russell and Kazizel as well. But Sam Corby's move on the Ferrari and the Red Bull driver, I have to say, move of the event, that was just absolutely crazy. How on earth did he get past the middle of that? If I did that, I would crash. So, brilliant job from him as well. And Speed Quinn didn't jump Ollie Flavel because Ollie did get a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, I believe. So, yes, he's now in 11th position. So, James, for one final time, what are the results, please?
Kazizel takes the win from scoring on pole position, obviously. Kazizel wins. Vapor Russell in 2nd. Sam Corby in 3rd. Obviously picking up that podium. Fantastic drive from him. Menno in 4th. Falk, 18th on the grid, up to 5th. Phenomenal performance from the Dane. Hannah's there in 6th. Coxey in 7th. Gary in 8th. Noisy in 9th. Verstappen ran off the top 10. Speed Quinn outscoring Ollie Flavel. Speed actually didn't outscore any, didn't have any penalties in that race. Ollie Flavel in 12th. Benjamin 13th. He also finished. Arthur, Yuri, Ashbest, Scott Buckner, and Cortez all out of the race at various stages. And I am sure we're probably going to get our organising team in. Kazizel, by the way, FRL Finley saying Kazizel is the GOAT. Might be. And I think as well, if I'm not mistaken, you can catch him in TTML F1 tonight. If he is, I think he signed up for that. Hang on. I don't even know my own drivers from TTML F1.
As well. And Neverlast Racing are doing an event this afternoon as well. So even though the 24-hour event is over, they're still league racing after the event. Oh my God. Best of luck to you guys there. We are going to try and get our organiser in of J. Cole, and hopefully we can get more people in as well. The likes of Gary, the likes of Mark, and everyone that's helped. I don't know which account he wants to be in. I'm going to invite them on both anyway. I don't care. I'm going to invite both accounts in as well. And if any admins want to join the party, just let us know. And we could get the final totals from J. Carl as well. So there we go.
He wants to hear his dulcet tones on the stream, which is absolutely phenomenal. But we have reached the end. Only, I've got to say, around 25 minutes late. Given all the technical difficulties that we had, we started around 1:05. Well, I would say you can obviously watch back all 24 hours. You can on YouTube. On Twitch you can't, unfortunately. The channel's just completely and utterly disappeared from the face of the earth. But it comes to show, in technical challenges, we have done an absolute phenomenal job, and I'd like to pay tribute to every single one of the teams, every single one of the drivers, and every single one of you supporters of the teams in behind the scenes. You have made this event absolutely possible, and yes, it might be for charity, but it comes to show League Racing community as well can come together to unite for charity. And it's absolutely fantastic. And I think the last total that we had was around £1,550. Might have gone up since, of course, we've now ended the racing. And if it has, then fantastic. And I'd like to thank every single one of you who has donated to both our charities, of course, Young Minds and to Special Effect. Both charities will deserve a lot of attention. I am sure they are going to be forever grateful and forever indebted in your attitude and how you've approached this event. So I think it's absolutely fantastic. Hopefully we're going to get the organising team in. Killer Blue as well, saying in the commentators chat, it was a pleasure to commentate. Thank you, and well done to all. As I am going to hand over the stream, well, for now at least, over to Mr. XL Jekyll. Jekyll.
Hello. I'm so tired, especially after what happened about 2 hours ago. I didn't think that just the crashings of my PC happening to where Streamlabs would just close and then have to reopen it up very quickly and then restart the stream. I didn't think it could get worse than that. Well, I suppose FOM kind of just proved that wrong, didn't they?
They did indeed, but it's a good job we had a backup. We were already streaming to YouTube anyways, and I think it just comes to show the quick actions of all of us behind the scenes to get something in place for the final 2 hours. And so unfortunately that'll happen with 2 hours to go, but still, I think it's been honestly a phenomenal event, and I'm sure you'd like to pay tribute to everyone that was involved.
Yeah, I do just want to say thank you to obviously all of the guys that done the comms, obviously to you two as well. As I said, all of the comms guys, so over to Killer Blue, Commentalist, Ariel Nolan, Alt Maverick, obviously Luke Etheridge, Daka, Mike, Gareth Hall, Packer, and Dan Guy or X427 as well. All of you guys. Obviously, it wouldn't be possible to get these charity streams done without having you guys here, so massive thank you to you all as well. To all of the other admins, obviously to Old School, to Gary, to Matthias, to Ash, and to Nick as well. Yeah, as I said, massive thank you to all you guys as well. I did need the help as much as possible, and especially for today and yesterday. Yeah, it is massively appreciated. Been trying to work on this for months. Unfortunately, as I said, it didn't work out the ending that I was expecting, but we got there in the end anyway. That's the main thing. We managed to do it. Yeah, as I said, I'm very happy with obviously how everything's gone, and of course to everyone that did sign up, to all of the teams that did participate. There's been a few interesting. There's a few bit of interesting driving that was going on. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was mainly for the charities. To everyone that has donated to the charities, to everyone that has, you know, viewed the streams, the band stream and the YouTube stream. Thank you, everyone that has tuned into those, especially as I said, the YouTube stream after all of that, after that chaos just went down. Yeah, I'm still speechless from how that happened, and hopefully I can get that sorted out soon. Obviously, it's only for some reason it's only a day suspension, which, to be honest with you, I don't understand why it's just a day suspension. So you might be able to view the other races tomorrow anyway, but it was just absolutely pointless. Yeah, as I said, I'm glad that we've managed to get through it in the end. Yeah, as I said, I'm still speechless. I'm tired, so everything's just scrambling in my brain at the moment. I can't particularly speak properly. I want to go and have an absolute lie down, and yeah, I'm knackered. That's all I can say. I'm knackered, but massive thank you to everyone that's been just a part of this event, just entirely.
Yeah, it's been fantastic to be a part of. I know we've got Gary as well in the commentary box with us. Looking at the current charity total, £776 for special effect and £794 for Young Minds. So it's roughly just under 1,600, I think, at the minute, which is fantastic. Gary, I'm sure you'd like to add your thoughts, of course, on to the end of the stream. First of all, how was that race for you? Obviously battling with Coxie.
Yeah, it was great. I don't know if he saw me on his screen. Apparently he didn't. It doesn't really matter anyway. we weren't really fighting for anything real. I think it was just more like vibes instead of anything else, to be honest. We just wanted to end the race. But yeah, overall the event was really, really good. I think this was the first time I've been in it as an admin. And yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, with the Twitch getting bamboozled at the end, it's a bit of a shame for us. But hopefully we get that sorted. And yeah, we made another serious amount of money for charity, which is pretty mad for a little F1 community. It just shows how much when the guys come together, all the F1 guys come together, how much they can actually achieve. And they're not arguing over who deserved the championship, Lewis or Max, when Max obviously deserved that championship. But nonetheless, on a real, it's really just really happy to be a part of this. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to all the drivers and commentators and everyone that participated and helped out. Like, even if it was just a little bit, it goes a long way. Standings, etc. It was just, yeah, it was really, really fun. A fun experience, but a once-a-year job, no more.
Yeah, once-a-year job as well. And I think, honestly, it just comes to show the power of good can take away the negativity and the toxicity as well within the F1 community. And it just comes to show, once we're all on the same page, we can work together, and it is absolutely fantastic. And I'd like to thank as well, I've already said it, but I'd like to thank everyone that was involved, to the organisers, of course, yourself and Gary, looking at the commentators as well. Thank you to each and every one of you. We won't gloss over what happened with Comments List and Dan, because they got the stream ban. But obviously the rest of the commentary team, absolute privilege. I think this is my third or fourth event, if I'm not mistaken. I've been here since the start of it, and it is just such a well put together event. And hopefully, once again, next year we are going to be doing another event like this again, unconfirmed, of course. I'm sure something will come out in the future about that. But honestly, it has been absolutely fantastic to be a part of it. I'm sure, Jess, you want to say something as well.
Well, I have to say, I think the first event I ever did was, I think I know Jay Cole can remember this, when it was the LOE 24 Hours of F1, and I was brought in last minute, remembered to do a few commentary because they couldn't find any commentary, and now we're here today as well, and I've been there every step of the way, and it's been a lot of fun once again. I could not join the commentary box, and it was a lot of fun. I got to work with so many great people. Obviously, I got to work with Aidan Carter at the start. I got to work with Jake Killer Blue for the first time. That was a lot of fun. And obviously Luke Etheridge, Mike Edwards, and of course yourself, James, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to have a bit of a lie down, but I'm definitely gonna have a lie down in the stream. Thanks to all the teams as well for all your support in this event and the donations as well. It's just been absolutely incredible. I think without the support that the teams have done as well, we couldn't have this event possible, despite some of the drivers missing their stints due to the fact that they were sleeping, which made things quite difficult for us to organise. But we got there in the end, didn't we, guys? But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you once again to the admins for getting us all involved, because I have to say it's been incredible once again.
Yeah, totally echo all those sentiments. I think that's been said by all of us, and I'm sure there's still going to be a lot of donations flooding in. So if you haven't already donated to both of our charities, they're magnificent in the work that they do. Of course, have a look in the description on YouTube. When the Twitch stream comes up, I'm sure the donation links will be on there. But to Young Minds Trust and to Special Effect, we thank you, of course, for us raising money for both charities. And I think, honestly, that is the most important thing that comes out of this event. Raising so much money for children and obviously disadvantaged young people in terms of mental health. It has been fantastic to be a part of, and to obviously see how much generosity everyone has given to both charities. So I think, honestly, it has been a breath of fresh air from everyone who has tuned in to the event. I don't think there's anything much else to say, is there?
Well, I can give you guys the actual standings if you would like.
Yes.
I've managed to just do them all, so
yes.
I can yeah. I'll give you the standings for just to finalize off the event. I can't even speak anymore. Just to finalize off the event, the standings are as follows. So the absolute units, yeah, they did win it in the end. I think it was confirmed from the last one anyway, but 435 points for the absolute units. Relentless took second with 402 points. Nordic E-Racing took third with 341 points. Us at XL took fourth with 332. QVR in fifth with 306. Bottle Job finishing sixth with 290 points. Ecos finished 7th with 287 points. Vapor Esports in 8th with 283. Elite Racing Team in 9th with 281. Olimpo in 10th with 271. IFR in 11th with 258. Humble Squad in 12th with 229. I can't remember what team that is. Sorry, Team Has-Beens. That's the one. Team Has-Beens in 13th with 212. The Ship's Fingers, if I said that right, I still don't know if I've said that right throughout the entire event anyway. But they're 14th with 210 points. Same with the Baccarels. I still don't know if I pronounced that right, but I don't really care. They're 15th with 189 points. Neverlast Racing are actually in last. They're in 16th with 183 points. Team Speed Esports in 17th with 155. Esports Wales in 18th with 154, 1 point away from getting the highest finish, I think, in the 24 hours event. VOR Nifos in 19th with 151 points, and then the Wooden Spoon goes over to Tic Tac and Co with dead on 100 points in the final event, or the final race of the event. So yeah, that's all of the points. Obviously, if there's any stewards' inquiries, bore off. It's a charity event, please. We want to go to bed. That's the only way I can say it, just bore off. We need to go to bed.
Yeah, I think we have one thing to say to you, Jacob. Please, after this drink, go to sleep. Don't look at your Discord message. Just go to sleep. Just please.
I think I need it at this point, especially after all that happened this morning. I definitely need it.
I think we all do.
I don't, because I had a good 8 hours sleep, so I feel
rub it in,
Alright, show off.
Rub it in.
Alright, show off.
It's good that I'm a fresh bit of blood that came in for the final 2 hours just to excite and enthusiastic the crowd a bit further. But honestly, I think we can probably end the stream here. A big thank you to everyone that got involved with the event. Drivers, commentators, all the supporters of every single team and behind as well. You all deserve, if you've been up for 24 hours like these guys, an absolute rest, and you can of course tune in for more league racing action as we go along. Myself and Luke Etheridge, who has obviously done the event as well. TTML F1, I may as well do it on the stream. 8 PM UK 7 PM I should say UK time. Myself and Luke will be covering it. Yeah, a long time until then, but 7 PM UK time if you do want to catch with the action from myself and Luke. And if you have enjoyed our commentary, of course.
League of Europe on Saturday night at 6:30 and 8:10 if you want to tune in. If you're going to drop a plug,
that's not
if you're dropping a plug,
yet, so I know something.
It doesn't matter. Go to that League of Europe channel and subscribe, and PSGL. Well, actually, PSGL don't need anymore, so that's fine. But yeah, whatever.
Season 30 sign-ups are up for PSGL, by the way, if you do want to sign up to that.
There you go, thank you.
Enough of the self-promotion, alright? Come on, let's get this wrapped up, alright?
Stream and get J. Cole some peace and quiet.
Please.
Yeah, we will go and end off the stream here. Big thank you to everyone who tuned in, and if you haven't already, please donate to both of our charities, and I'm sure they'll be forever grateful for, obviously, your custom in terms of raising money for charity and helping a lot of people out there. But for myself, from Jess, from all of our organisation team, that has been the 24 hours of F1. We really hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully, you all get some sleep now. But for myself, from Jess, from everyone else here, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.